This is Come and See with Father Philip Hall, turning to and following Christ in the 21st century. Father Philip is parish priest at All Saints of Lincolnshire Orthodox Church in Lincoln, England.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, God is one. Amen. Begin by reading Hebrews chapter 11, 33 to 12:2. St. Paul is talking about Old Testament saints, and he mentions 24 outcomes of being somebody or other who is full of faith. 9 of them are glorious, and 15 of them are pretty sticky. They end stickily. So the glorious ones, they conquered kingdoms, enforced justice, stopped the mouth of lions, quenched raging fires. They escaped the edge of the sword. They won strength out of weakness. They were mighty in war. They put foreign armies to death, and they raised people from the dead. And then there were sticky ones, 15 of those. These were tortured. They refused release. They received mockings and scourgings and imprisonment. They were stoned. They were sawn in two, tempted, killed with a sword. They wore skins. They were destitute. They were afflicted. They were ill-treated. They were wandering in deserts and mountains. They lived in caves and in dens. And all of those people, he tells us, are inferior to you and I. Isn't that amazing? All those amazing achievements, from escaping the edge of the sword to being killed by the sword, all those amazing achievements of these people well attested in faith. And you and I are more fortunate than they are. Why is that? It's because we have Christ. He is our pioneer and perfecter of our faith, as it says in Matthew, in the other reading today. And the question is, if we are so much more fortunate, what sort of saint are you going to be? Because the whole purpose of our faith is not for us to admire other people, but for you and me to become holy people, which is what saint means, sacred people, sainted people, agios or agia, holy man, holy woman. And what sort of person does it take? What do the saints look like? Well, if I look round my room here, I've got a lot of icons in this small space. I can tell you what they look like. Some of them are clergy and monastics. I guess that's not all that surprising. Priests and bishops and deacons and monks and nuns make such poor Christians that if ever any one of them becomes half decent, they paint an icon of them and stick them up on the walls. And the curious part is that we're so used to having people who are not monks and nuns and priests and bishops and deacons who are holy, that we rarely make icons of them. But husbands and wives, mothers, fathers, all these people have the capacity to be holy, to be saints, and many of them are. And other saints are children. There's one here, a child martyr of Hamatora that I'm looking at now, a 6-year-old boy, and yet he is a saint martyr. Single people, able-bodied, people with disabilities like Saint Matrona, youngsters, old folk, medics like St. Luke, we celebrated the other day, teachers, the homeless, rich, poor, educated, simple, engineers, gardeners, cooks, tailors, seamstresses. Who else we have? Farmers, soldiers, sailors, world travellers up there. People who stayed at home, writers like St. Mark up here. illiterates. I've got St. Gerasimos with his lion. Slaves, freemen, people of every colour and hue and race and background, from every corner of the world. I can see people who stretch right the way across the world. So far they almost meet each other on the other side of the world. That's the sort of people who become saints. Pretty well everybody, anybody, can become a saint. So what does it take? Well, Jesus in Matthew 10, 32 to 38 and 19, 27 to 30, the other reading for today, tells us what it takes. He says, "Take up your cross and follow me." And each one of these people on the walls around here, one or two of whom I've met. Up here is Saint Sophronia of Essex, some of whom were born and died long before I was born, in countries so strange and foreign to me that I can hardly imagine their lives. But each one of them, every one of them, took up her cross or his cross and followed Christ. And that's what I must do and you must do if you are to become a saint. Now, whether you will have a sticky end or a glorious end, I don't know. Whether you will die in some dingy prison or be tortured to death, or whether you will be fated to the skies, I don't know. But if you're to be a saint, there's something I do know, and that is that you will have picked up your cross, you would have shouldered it bravely, and you would have followed Christ, walking in his footsteps. And people around you, they will find their lives being made radically better. Radically better. And you see now that I've not talked about all sorts of other things, whether you will live a long and successful life, whether you will have a short and brutal one. Those things are unimportant. What is important is this: did you pick up that cross? Did you walk? Did you follow Christ? And as you did so, did your footsteps lead behind them burning gold for other people to mine and lift up and be enriched with? Because that's what saints do. So whether they conquered kingdoms, escaped the edge of the sword, put foreign armies to flight, which means they fought against Satan, whether they were tortured, scourged, tempted, killed with a sword, destitute, wandering, which meant that they resisted Satan, all of them carried their cross. And now, while we have breath, it's my turn and your turn. You know, most of our churches have got plenty of space on the walls for an icon of you. I think it's unlikely that we have an icon of me. But our work is actually to do exactly that, to shoulder our crosses, follow Christ. And it doesn't matter whether you're a cleric, whether you are a slave, whether you're educated or unlettered. It doesn't matter whether you're able-bodied or you have a disability. Each of us has a cross that is perfectly designed for each one of us to wear and to carry. A cross that is far too heavy for anybody else to wear, but a cross that you can carry that you can stagger along behind Christ. You might fall. You might see other people fall. And when you see other people fall, you help them up with their cross, as Simon of Cyrene did with the Lord. Okay? May the saints and martyrs of all the world pray for us. Your prayers. God bless you. Amen.
Join us again next time for Come and See with Father Philip Hall, a listener-supported presentation of Ancient Faith Radio.